We're just gonna assume you saw Arcane Odyssey Wiki Curse Screenshots 3 for reference as to why I feel like this. Like seriously, take a look at this, and tell me you think I'm not a bad person in some capacity. Okay, well if you want to go get really technical, Pokka was a year younger than I thought she was when that marriage shit started. So I guess like, it doesn't matter, the point is that shit had to go. The joke, or weird running gag lore shit eventually ended. Screenshots here. Okay, well I might as well fully explain it to anyone unfamiliar, since like Odemerson's farewell video. This might end up making one of my most popular with zero context. In July of 2024, around a week before my birthday, there was some discussion. I forgot what it was about. But the point was it had this bit where I noticed two people had a strangely wholesome moment together. So I joked with the typical, "You're married now, you may now kiss the bride" stuff. Somehow it knocked into me being the spouse of one mentioned, and I fell asleep thinking it'd just be a quick and funny interaction, only to wake up to Pokka over here screaming about, "He is mine," or whatever. For reference, the closest thing I'd done that might have led her to this was me trying to help her out when she was in an emotional episode, and convinced her to take antidepressants to at least try to help it out a bit. This was also before I was out saying I was the hottest man on the planet or whatever. So this is honestly the closest to what could have caused this dumb shit to all start. The point is it went too far and lasted for too long to be comfortable for any party. I had one guy accuse me of being a pedophile once. Made no sense since I was and still am a minor, and it fell apart when he doubled down and then went to say it was a joke I couldn't take after I showed him the bloody definition. But I'd understand where that come from if I was an outsider. Like most of you all watching this, I assume. Or something like Luni's sister here. Let's ignore the fact Luni was wrong because underage would imply under 13, and I fucking hope nobody under 13 is on the wiki, since that's against fandom terms, and just focus on how bad I look from an outsider's perspective. Putting the screenshots from last June to now, and having to see them again, made me want to unironically fucking kill myself. It felt that bad. I promise you I didn't remember any of this bullshit I said. This should legally get a charge as rape on my fucking eyes because holy shit, what was this? And why did I say that bullshit? Also, I'm good now. I think I just need a whole thing. I'll say it near the end, but still. The point is I can't believe I said half that shit. Also, I recall this one time Nightmare got super pissed at me for like a few weeks. If you saw that compilation, you'd remember the weird, "don't get jealous" line. When I mentioned that guy looked like 40, when Pokka mentioned he wanted to marry the guy, she kept using as a reaction image. Basically, I forgot what it was a part of, but I basically just said I fucked his mom. It was pretty normal to me. I've said that at least like 7 times and nobody batted an eye. This absolutely enraged him, which I understand now, since he loves his mom, and that. But it also pissed off everyone else too? I still don't get that. Anyway, somehow, I recall Nightmare accuses me out of the blue of taking the piss out of his dead friend while he was totally unaware that we knew of her passing, and I acted like it became common knowledge. I promise you on everyone I love and cherish I cannot remember this ever occurring for the life of me. Apparently, I apologized truly later in Roblox chat, but I can't really go to see if that ever happened since I'm not giving a face or an ID to the sketchiest people on the planet right now. Basically, if this even had a remote chance of being similar, then this should put enough nails in the coffin and the cement to kill off the idea that I'm that great of a person for Luni to keep venting to. These 2 screenshots is just her showing her appreciation for me in some way. And it took until now for me to realize something that I'm unsure of, but it fucking devastated me. I get it. I finally get it. I've seen so many people talk about their issues here, and they just act like the kindness hurts them when they see it. I've never understood until now. This is so much worsened by the fact it was on the thread promoting the 3rd screenshot compilation. This was barely after she mentioned how it made her painfully remember the weird time where she and Lucid were basically super flirting. Yeah, you saw those screenshots, I assume. I remember mocking Juniper after her death. I can't just keep lying to myself or anyone else anymore. I want to feel awful, but I just can't. I can't express how much it hurts to be unable to truly say sorry. Nightmare, if you're seeing this, I am thankful you can tolerate me at all. I am dumbfounded at how you let me keep using Morgana Creed, your OC, for OC steal a Metal Gear at all, and even look forward to its new releases. I remember that one time with that weird argument with ataham that happened recently. Like before it began when I noticed he was mocking me with the nerd emoji shit. You said that you didn't notice he was. I wanted to say you was some form of a soul. Naive maybe. I'm unsure, But now I can confidently say you're certainly far better here, and I honestly think a lot more need to appreciate that. The closest I can think of is Morgana appearing in Aryan snippets, and she's actually written well, instead of the bumbling lunatic she is portrayed as in the heist verse. And if you're no longer willing to let me use her after I revealed that a minute ago, I understand. I just request you let me use her for the remainder of OC's Steel a Metal Gear. I know it's unlikely for Chapter 5 to release close enough for you to remember this bundled with everything else here, but I'll spoil a bit in it. So cut to the timestamp displaying now if you wish to avoid it. Morgana gets killed off in Chapter 5. I promise it had nothing to do with me being mad at Nitemare. I was planning for Neo to die, but I'd figure he'd be useful for the next heist verse FIC, since that sends them facing the Auditor for Madness combat. You know, has a weakness to lightning. Anyways, I think I almost certainly lied about that whole wanting to feel bad but unable to thing. I promise you I do. It's just not enough. And I get it. You get desensitized. You only know the person for a short time, unlike the one morning you get mad or in the wrong mood, whatever. It's just not enough bad I'm feeling. The one place I've seen dozens vent in their worst moments. Yet when it's my time, I can't even get like that. Yet if I act like I'm deserving of that spiral into darkness, it feels like I'd be playing victim or Luni would get sad. It's just too much to get into. And it's all unnecessary. It's supposed to just be, hey man, I do recall making fun of your dead friend actually, and I'm super sorry for it, even if it barely seems that way. But that enough is just like, you get it. It spirals. I'm dearly sorry, Nitemare, and I hope Juniper rests well. Well, this is just turning out to be an apology compilation instead of just venting about how I feel bad. Huh? Well, I guess those are similar enough or something. Let's turn to someone who's the closest to insufferable on this place. You know who I mean if you go for my opinion. Ataham. What is there to apologize for? The rage bait messages, or whatever. That's just it. It's not like I got him rightfully banned after the AI shit, or his mod also rightfully taken away. Honestly, I'm still astounded people actually like you if I'm going to be honest. Which is the point of this video. Honestly, I'm inclined to believe you're still jealous over that fucking Robloxius in short. Not even the other sections of the Arcane Odyssey community like you. The forums or Vetcord see you as a fucking stalker. Nobody is believing that you actually thought people wouldn't get on your ass over the AI art shit. Fico had more people liking him than you. And apparently not even the other mods and admins knew you'd get in. I know, quite a jump from everything with Juniper to flaming this person. But my thoughts just came in that order. I'm also sure he didn't even read the basic fucking rules of the place he was moderating for outside of the now draw her giving birth instance. When I return, I will simply ignore Ataham's existence unless direct from a ping pole or whatever. I'm very positive he likely feeds off attention, especially for myself. This is the last you hear me utter his name. Alright, that was just like a thing to cut up all the I am a terrible person stuff. I should bring up someone like Lucid or Winny. There's not enough I could say for someone like Lucid. I've heard him way more compared to the zero I've done for Winny, so I'll start off with him. There's a lot. Contrasted with all the stuff with Nitemare, I can't recall a lot of it. I remember this one thing Cookie Tank said where he claimed to fear Lucid when he's angry. This was in reference to the event where he spoke up against Fico and turned most people against him. I still think he's lying through his teeth to get Lucid to like him more, if I'm being honest. And knowing full well Lucid has a black belt in karate. Of course I think Lucid's bound to forgive me for what I specifically did to him, but this can help me get across to remembering Cookie Tank was someone who mentioned me when he left. He was there for the premiere of the Screenshots 3 comp, so I'd figure he's seeing all this too. I figure he's probably chill with me despite him, saying I'd think of his venting during his departure as a guilt trip like I commonly said the other times he let himself be vulnerable at bad moments. And to that, I'm sorry. Dearly. I always just assumed due to the awful timings. I hope you're doing well. I want to leave. I want to depart. I want to move. I want to go. I don't trust myself around you people, and I think you all deserve much better than to tolerate me. Of course, I'll return someday, hopefully improved and ready to clash with Winny and Lucid on the nicest Wikians list. Quite a leap, but I've always been confident in some ability, I think. I'm just not sure where to go from here now. I guess I'll just say a few things to a few people I appreciate and a few more apologies here, and they're to people I've casually super disrespected. I'm just going to check usernames 2.0 alphabetically and see if I find a Wikian I think I need a proper apology to or something to say about. Blue Fighter 15. A tale as old as time. As much as I do think about all the times he misinterpreted something, I do think I've been a lot more than unfair, especially for someone you'd want to be careful around. Not in like a bad way, I just think you get aggravated a lot, which makes a lot of sense considering everything I learned about you, assuming it is true. If I accepted Pokka with similar issues, I should have accepted you fine. I'm sorry. I think I should mention Calisto next. Nobody's seen her since 2023, so there's no way she's bothering to see this, but I won't mind. It's been so long, I honestly remember very little, but I just know she was enraged at me. And it certainly feels like I played a part of her just disappearing off the face of the wiki and seemingly only interacting with Lucid. I remember this one time she was mad at me, and I, as neversleeping, just like said something along the lines of her having to be related to someone I knew back in 2019. It also made Klaus get on my ass, rightfully so. I recall it because I referenced it in this icon I sent to Pokka for a catastrophic RPG 2 update. Now who was that 2019 person? Someone I knew back when I used Discord at that time. I thought we were on decent enough times, but one day I joined a server they had administrative power in and banned me. I don't recall why, but I assume it was good reason, as after I basically went on a one-man harassment campaign against them. I recall one time I ended up impersonating someone they knew and acted like I was just doing some weird social experiment. Eventually it just faded away, and I noted a year or so later they just disappeared one day. I figure now, they just left Roblox, but my brain came to the logical conclusion they probably killed themselves. I doubt that happened now, especially since I remember seeing some post on a group wall from someone who knew them a bit more recently which suggests that they are alive. But you know, the guilt was worsened when I figured out they were a beta tester for a game we both played. Eventually I got over it, but after I did for a few months I was basically just using them as like a shield? A really weird and fucked up one. Tie all that back to the Calisto thing. You get what I mean now, right? Klaus was so right to flame my ass there. Point is, I'm sorry, Calisto. Terribly so. I hope you're doing well far away from us. Also, especially for that time, I leaked the buff sweaty Edward Ken art. Even if I didn't actually mean for you to send it to me, and that request was a joke, it doesn't excuse leaking that obviously embarrassing thing to a public audience. I think I'd send an apology to Calma Fish Sticks, but it's also been so long I don't remember anything other than like a slight argument that she clearly would not remember in the slightest. I suppose next up would just thank everyone who enjoys my company despite these flaws. Winnie, I can't thank you enough for everything really. I recall this one time after I finished OC Steal the Golden We 2, you said you respect how I churn out the chapters quickly. Ironic nowadays, but that meant a lot to me, even if it barely mentioned what happened. So Akoi, I'm not sure where your love comes from, whether that'd be due to me playing a major role against Fico or whatnot, or just out of humor, but I thank you for a lot. Could be anything from the whole mom lore thing to the Yurima versus Julian shenanigans, but you went along with practically everything I threw myself into. I thank you much. Can't ever forget working username 101, whose last real artworks were related to OC's Steal the Golden We. I hope you're alive as much as the rest of us all do. Pokka, there's a lot to say about the shenanigans we've had, even outside of the really weird marriage joke thing. Despite everything, you chose a route like suwa and kept going along with whatever bullshit. Even if I see a few issues with how you suddenly had issues with your appearance in the third screenshot compilation, you're still a great friend to me. Luni, we've both mindlessly vented at each other so many times. Even at times where you think I'm just incapable of change after I offend you horribly. You still try your best to help even when everything you experience gives no reason to. I want to ask why. I really do. But eventually, I think you made me realize that's just because you're just a great person. There's nothing else to it. With all honesty, I'd put you above Lucid. The levels to your restraint is so astonishing. Thank you so much for everything. Lucid, thanks for believing in me when you said you agree with the idea I'm a better man in recenter times. I disagree heavily, but I'd hate to let you down, so I'll come back to prove you right. I get that all of this might not be sincere to you due to the usage of this text-to-speech voice. I promise it is. If I had to retake this with my actual voice, I just think it'd no longer be true from my heart. I'd also like to thank Triggers for his own self-reflecting and apologizing publicly to the wiki too. even when nobody saw him as the insufferable person he saw himself as. I think that set off some dominoes that led to this. If we didn't see him as insufferable back then maybe I shouldn't wait until I am to finally take responsibility. That's enough for you to get it, I think. I think I've said so much and so little, but it all means the same at the end. I'm truly sorry for everything. I've always been confused by why people said I was becoming like never sleeping again after I lost it for whatever instance when I originally returned. I was only gone for a third a year. That isn't enough time to change it all. Now I realize that they just had that much faith in me to change. And I failed them all. Never sleeping was just me without this mask of a new person. Ironic as my profile picture during that time was Bannemer from Fighting, a person with a blindfold. I truly get it now. So this is it. What's like to finally feel like I'm below people. That's it then. Maybe I'll come back. I don't feel comfortable returning at this state right now, at least for this time being. Maybe OC Steel and Metal Gear 3 appears when I do, or something else I keep forgetting to do. Who knows? I just wanted to throw an array of my thoughts into this. I can't really make up for all of this right now, but it'll be fine. I'd hate to disappoint everyone who believed in my change like last time. Even if this may be the last we cross paths, I'll have you all in my hearts. Maybe you won't, but it's fine. I just hope you have faith like all the times before that I'll be changed. This one goes to stock sounds. As much as I do not wish to start anything, what I say next does come from genuine concern. I think you spend too much time defining yourself and how others see you, especially with just men overall. I think that is seriously unhealthy in the long run. Instead of figuring out what you want for yourself beyond typical life goals, I think you unironically keep shaping yourself to these expectations. Odds are I may be wrong, but you already figured out that you have an internalized stigma somewhere in there, and I think that pattern will seriously mess you up if you don't check it.